Well, cheers, buddy, with our waters.
Water cheers, I mean, after yesterday's taste.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Robertson Stash. I'm your host, Matt Robertson, and today our special guest is Big Z. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, my man. It's a beautiful day up in the mountains, and I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, man, you know, we had a thing happen, and all of a sudden 4 years went by. I think we made a piece for the house party show I threw in Denver. We made the goat and a ram, and then
that was wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, not too long after that, you know, the world went into lockdown.
Yeah.
But good to see you again, and I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah. How was that for you? For me personally, it seemed like sales were up in the glass industry because no one could travel and they just wanted to get high and buy pretty things.
Yeah, it was like same for me. I was basically, it felt like I was running like a little TV show. I was auctioning multiple things off a day, giving people something to do. Mm-hmm. It kind of felt like, you know, there was a lot of interaction at the time. And I had a pretty set routine. I got in the studio as much as I could.
Not much else to do.
Yeah,
everything was shut down.
Yeah, I'm grateful to have my own spot, and you know, I have really close friends, so we're playing it safe and all that. But I was pretty much to the studio and at the crib there for
solid year.
Seemed like it.
Yeah,
we went to a Mark Reblay concert. Like, he did the drive-in.
Is he the robe guy?
He's the robe guy.
I gotta send him a robe.
Yeah,
what's his name again?
Mark Reblay. Yeah,
he sent him a robe.
He came to Fort Collins and did a show at the drive-in theater. So,
damn,
we put a queen size mattress in the back of the truck and went in, and he was like playing in a little hut. And
now he's selling out Red Rocks.
Yeah, he blew up.
Yeah,
and he's fun to watch. He's got a good vibe, you know.
Yeah,
all freestyle.
I love it.
So that was like, the first thing we got to do.
Yeah, the Mark Reblay.
Yeah, it was like maybe in June. So
did you wear a robe to the concert?
I wore my pajamas.
Yeah,
I was wearing some velour, jumpsuit I rocking.
Right. So was everyone else, I bet.
Yeah.
This is crowd. So for anyone that doesn't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, how long have you been blowing glass, and where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from La Crosse, Wisconsin. I moved out to Colorado in 2000 and played football for Mesa State College. That was short-lived. I blew my knee out snowboarding, and I tried coming back, but it just wasn't the same coming off an injury like that. And I was going to school for art. I wanted to be an art teacher, so I was taking art classes at Mesa, and I was able to get a associate's degree in art and transfer over to CSU in Fort Collins, where I've been for the last 20 years. Back in the day while I was going to college, I was hustling weed and shit, and I befriended a headshot boner, my buddy Rob, who owned Planet 9 at the time. I don't know if it's still around, but he, as I was leaving town, was getting into glass, and he was doing little wrap and rakes and stuff, and I was going over there and watching him and checking it out and just kind of smoking weed and fucking hanging out, I was an avid collector as a young kid, so I was always collecting glass, and he'd hook up the deal, so a friendship was born. And when I moved to Fort Collins, he gave me basically an open door policy. He's like, anytime you're if you want to learn this, he's like, I'll show you,
That's awesome.
Let you get on the torch. And that summer I went to Bonnaroo. It was the first Bonnaroo, and it was 2003. And me and my friends from high school had an amazing time, but I was drawn to the glass blowers that set up, they're blowing live. And for me, it was like they were the real rock stars. And then looking back, it was Jason Lee and Marcel throwing down. And there's this huge, like, massive saxophone aquatic piece that Marcel had made that someone bought and was letting everyone smoke it. And I got in that circle. It was a pretty wild memory. And I was like, this is it. So when I made the move to Fort Collins, I called Rob and I went and watched him for a few days. And then I had the itch. I was like, let me do it. But he's like, I have to work. And I'm like, yeah. And then when he finally went to bed, I, got my hands and turned it on the torch for the first time and was just basically working on melting glass into glass. Just surface.
Kind of self-taught in the boro world, or did you take classes or?
I took a class with Chaz Pyle in 2007. He was a really cool
Love
guy.
Chaz.
Yeah, a really cool cat. He was like already way further advanced than everybody in the class. So I kind of helped with the class as that happened because people wanted to learn wig pattern, and he was trying to make a devil sculpture. So like, it was like when one of those settings where you feel like you can be of help, you help, So I gave him a helping hand, and I learned what I needed to out of the class. I was struggling with like the big push bottom kettle bubs and then how to get a good clean bowl push. I was like, when you take a class, those were the things I needed to work on. So that helped me, and I ran with the big kettle bubs after that.
What year did you start? Like, what year is this?
Well, I bought my torch and stuff basically 20 years ago this month. And I transferred to CSU and was pursuing being an art teacher, but I got hooked on glass and kind of dropped out of college. And
oh, really? Yeah.
So 2004, basically, Rob, who owned that store, was buying everything I made, so I had an outlet right off the bat.
That's
so
nice.
I was making $10 pieces and stuff like that, but everything I was making, I was learning and getting better and better. And so like that was in Fort Collins, and he was in Grand Junction. I didn't have to like come into that market right away with all the other guys in Fort Collins. And eventually started meeting people in Fort Collins, and everyone was always really open with technique and stuff. So I just made friends and we bounced stuff off each other. And, back in the beginning, it was just all about having fun and making cool shit.
It still is, no?
No, it is absolutely. But at some point, this thing became a career, right?
Yeah.
Like we have responsibilities. We've gotten old. I'm in my 40s now. And things that shouldn't be as stressful are stressful. And
it seems like after you've been doing something for 20 years, it kind of becomes a job no matter what it is. And
absolutely.
It's kind of comes full circle.
And I still tell people, I'm like, I've never really had a job. The alias Paperboy came from when I was a paperboy as a kid.
Is that
right? It was
right?
The only other job besides hustling I ever really had. So it was glass blowing and being a paperboy, for the most part. But it's all in at this point. It's like what I want to do with my life and keep creating. But things have gotten slower this last year, and it's just got me assessing things and maybe scaling things back a little bit from
adjusting a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just adjusting with the market, and I've been really blessed with awesome collectors and store owners that have supported me this whole way and have carried some really amazing work. That was one of the cool things about the pandemic is like things were popping off and pieces that never would have been made got made because there's so much traffic in the industry. Everyone was purchasing. I did 3 major collab shows where everything went pretty well, and a lot of those pieces never would have got made if there wasn't a boom during that period. So right now, a lot of those things aren't being made, and I'm making my own solo work, but I'm really happy. Even though things are slow, it's like less stress. It's it's like back to not knowing where your next sale's going to be. And
it could be a blessing in disguise, really.
Yeah,
because people aren't doing it for the money anymore because there is no money, maybe,
right.
and they're doing it more for yourself and your own self satisfaction.
Yeah. Like
personal art. Like,
we're all artists at the end of the day doing this. It's you got to fulfill those needs, and I mean, like the piece we got going, it's going to paint a picture, and like. Maybe back in the day we would have huddled together and be like, let's make 4 or 5 little things, make some money and get out. Now it's like, let's just make the best piece possible and have fun doing it and make a memory together. And
yeah, there is almost more freedom in it when there's not like a home that's already lined up for a piece, or you're doing like a request. Like we're just doing whatever is in our heads right now.
Yeah. When you're selling a big piece and it's sold for 10 grand, it's on the line. Like, sometimes you can thrive on that pressure, but sometimes that pressure can throw you off and like make it super stressful to get through a piece.
Yeah.
Like you're over analyzing every little detail and getting hung up on things, when if you were just building it to build it, it would just flow naturally.
I feel like a lot of people during the pandemic got into a comfort zone in a sense, and they were producing for money and everyone was doing well. Everyone got those kickback checks. And, now it's more stepping out of your comfort zone for me anyways. Like I'm doing the pod and I'm trying new things like the frog, because I feel like that's a good spot to be as an artist.
Absolutely.
Once in a while.
I'm trying to theme out my work more so. I kind of had a format where it was always like a space print and a couple marbles. Now I'm trying to like build a scene where when you look at a piece in the round, it's a little outer space scene. So I've been making these little rockets and
those are cool.
Aliens and stuff, and just trying to bring things to life. So the way I see it, it's like when you're ready to cut for the day and you could finish a piece and be done with it. During the pandemic, I would have been done with it. I'm coming back with that next day energy.
Yeah.
And I spend all day on it the last day, and the piece evolves so much more and becomes much cooler. And I've been blessed to have collectors that are like, wow, you're really pushing it. And I've been waiting for that. It was like, it's been a lot of years of a lot of collab work for me. I've got a pretty solid space print and opal work that I'm able to work with lots of people.
Oopsies.
Cheese is squeaking.
Well,
yeah, you want to give him the. You might want to pull that.
Look at your cheese. Your yak cheese. A word from our sponsors. This episode is powered by Yerba Star. When I'm blowing glass all day, Yerba Star keeps me fueled up. Started by glass blowers, and hey, they're made for glass blowers. Tell you what, and probably musicians and athletes, whoever likes yerba mate. Yerba Star is passionate about drinking yerba mate, and what makes it so great are the families and farms who produce it. They have great flavors like lemon lime and mixed berry. Check out their Instagram at Yerbastar. Yerbastar. Find them in select stores across Colorado or purchase straight from their website at yerbastar.com. Now, back to the show. Okay, well, I'm going to take this thing off. I was told I was slouching on camera, so I got the back brace on today.
Oh, man, I better straighten up too.
Yeah, I can't even do it for more than 10 minutes. And now that we're 10 minutes into the pod, I think we can spark up a doobie here.
Heck yeah.
So, well, that's interesting. I feel like it comes out more special when you do it for yourself instead of doing it for somebody else. Like there's magic to it. It's something unique.
I agree. Yeah. And I've went for years having everything lined up for the most part. And now it's just like I'm making it for myself, and it's someone really likes it or they don't, and it's on to the next one. And
yeah, it'll all sell eventually.
It always does. And I'm cool with that. And so where I was saying with the collaborations, it was like so focused on making prep and interacting with other artists and getting pieces made for shows. It's been a great time to step back and work on my solo work, which there hasn't been a whole lot of made. It's kind of maybe 80-20, 80% collabs, 20% solo
Really?
work
Wow.
for the last years, man. And it's rewarding. It's cool. A lot of cool pieces are made, but it's not always like that feeling of Christmas morning when you go in to see a piece that you spent all your love and energy on and pulling it fresh from the kiln. Because I just made the first portion of that. And
Yeah, you pass it off to the other
Yeah.
artist, and then they'll finish it, whatever.
yeah, which those are all cool. I love doing them. It's helped make a lot of cool pieces, but I like when we can team up and make a piece here in person.
In person is definitely
Yeah,
a different
like,
vibe than
it's
male collabs.
so less restricting and more cool. You can make cooler stuff. Like there's a format for things, but I think organically in person is the way to go.
So in your opinion, like, what do you think the state of the industry is today?
Well, excuse me. The state of the industry, I just feel is a roller coaster ride. It's like it's up and downs. And right now, yeah, we're in a down slump. And like 2015, you and I were mad crushing, 16 crushing, and 17 got a little slower, 18 got a little slower, 19 was kind of slow. Things were steady, but like all of a sudden, bam, the pandemic hit, and that was an excuse for things to go skyrocket again. So now we're back on it down, and I feel like there's been 2 or 3 hills that we've gotten over in time.
Cheesy.
Hey, buddy.
Cheesy wants to be on the pod too.
He does. He wants me to hold him.
He's got a face for camera. You can put him on your lap if you want, but if he's ready.
I think he is. He wants some attention.
Oh,
No, he really wants to play, and he might be a pain today.
that's all right. He's okay. Lucky you're so cute, Cheese.
If one of you guys held him, maybe he'd just chill. But you might have to catch him. He's wanting to play.
All right, well we'll just let it ride because it's part of the crew.
Yeah, he's
Part of
family.
the pod now.
He's when I did Evan's podcast, he was in the middle of conversation a couple times.
Excuse me.
But yeah, the industries it's a wave, and I was like, I have to say to artists, is save your money for rainy days because you never know. And being through so many waves, I feel like you just got to keep pushing. There's been a lot of new glassblowers that are killing it out there. And it was like all of a sudden, boom, and I saw that through COVID too. There were so many young guys that never heard of that were like skilled as super talented, like nicer work than I could possibly make,
Damn. We'll have to cut that part out. What are one of the biggest challenges that you face as a glassblower?
I think the hardest part as a glassblower is I kind of do it all myself. So I'm making it, I'm posting it, I'm selling it, I'm interacting with it.
That's a lot.
I don't really get to turn off.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of pen pals. I'm there for people if they need to talk. So I'm always answering messages. And
What would you do if you could turn off?
probably find another hobby.
Yeah.
Although this year with, I've been focused on my health more so than making money. Like I'm resetting. I've the priority is health, and health is wealth. I want to live a long time.
Health is wealth. That's some good advice.
And so like I've been running the rat race for years with things just always been popping. I got pretty heavy and I had to deal with the weight, and I've done my best to get it off this year and not be so focused on just hustling. So like that's been something that I've been focused on.
I think that's some great advice during this downtime. It's really good to focus inwards on yourself and self-development, building your skills, just adapting and trying new things.
Absolutely. And
Don't focus on the negative, just focus on the positive.
yeah, I've really taken to gratitude. Every morning I'm starting my day out with a little gratitude ritual in the shower, and I'm just thankful and grateful to be alive for one, and my family and my friends and I have this glass shop I built with my dad, and I get to go hang out every day with my friends and make art.
Yeah. It's good to count your blessings because
Yeah.
we're all pretty lucky.
And I got people that support it and keep the dream alive. And it's
Yeah.
amazing when you like can slow down and be like, dang, dude, I never had to leave the art room. I'm just still going into the art lab every day.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy to, I mean, you can take it for granted a little bit, and then you got to just realize it's pretty awesome.
And when things are going so fast, it's easy to take things for granted.
Yeah. Maybe everyone needs a little slowdown in the world, in their lives right now.
It's a good time to reset.
You know, for some new glassblowers that maybe have started during the pandemic or right before the pandemic, you know, and now there's this shift in sales, shift in the whole economy. What advice would you have for a new up-and-coming glassblower to kind of get through this little downtime?
You know, I've gotten that question in the DMs a lot from guys that are like, "Oh, well, how do you do it?" And first, we've been in the game for 20 years. We've been branded for a long time. So like, work on your branding and connecting with an audience that's out there is like my advice. But you know, have a job that gets your bills paid and just put all the hours you can in while you're young.
Yeah, it kind of takes the pressure off when you can kind of balance your life with doing something to pay the bills and getting creative instead of.
Yeah. I mean, when I hustled. That's how I got by.
Yeah.
And I blew glass. You know, I mean, I didn't have a legit job, but I hustled. And you have a side hustle to maintain your glass habit. So eventually, this whole industry was kind of built around our backs in a sense, where it's like the popularity of glass just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we kept making cooler and cooler and cooler stuff, and more people got in, and it was a huge snowball effect. And the reality is, like, getting back to it, we did this for fun, and it still is fun, but it became business around us. And so, like, everyone jumping in and building brands now and wanting to blow glass and start a career, this whole platform's been set for them. So, like, if you play the game how you maybe see someone else playing the game, maybe that way works. Maybe you figure out how you be unique and put your work out your own way. But it's more of a social media game than anything.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's how people, if you got to be on someone's phone, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's how people are going to see you.
Getting back
Connect
to
with
like
people.
not turning off, I'm on the damn phone all the time. You can see on your apps what you spend on there. It's gross, but
Yeah.
I'm making sales. I'm posting. You know, I'm studying the market and all of that. You know, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
I could pay someone to do it, but I still like my organicness of being me.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah, it's definitely a tool, social media, I think, and you can use it to your advantage. But I mean, yeah, it is a problem. I find myself on Instagram a bit too much and whatever.
because even before Instagram, I for a long time I said
MySpace.
I wasn't really on MySpace, but I was aware of it, and then Facebook. But when Instagram hit, it changed my life, and that was 2013. Like, I went from selling to distributors that in turn wholesaled my work, which where you and I met out in Canada. I was with C&G Wholesale.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Like,
at the Treating Yourself
Expo, and that was like 2011. And then all of a sudden the social media hit, and I could sell my work myself, and all of a sudden I'm going from making like 37.5% of the work to all the money on retail sales and growing my business through stores. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully, you know, maybe there's another app someday that like pushes, but for my account nowadays, like, you know, cause I do auctions and I put pipes on there and all of that, I get flagged pretty much every other day. I have to delete posts. It's a headache. Yeah. And,
Are you verified with the whole?
I'm not verified, but I guess maybe if I do that and they want some money, I'll give it to them. I just like,
No, I mean it's $15 a month. I thought, right?
Yeah,
And
you know,
put a
I'm-
blue check, and you got to put your profile
I see
picture
it
up and your
out
real
there.
name, and like it's kind of It's funny to me, like how everyone just kind of hopped on. Now they're in the Instagram trap forever.
Yeah,
like,
the Instagram matrix.
Instagram has got $15 a month from like millions of people, which is fine. But those OG original.
Now I would like to know if their
stars,
accounts are like getting the engagement that they should. You know, like
yeah.
my stuff opens off good and then it gets turned off. It's fairly interesting these days compared to.
It's like you got to know someone at Instagram, and then you're like, yo, can you just like put me in the
that
loop?
up. Yeah,
Because I watch so much stupid shit on there. I'm like, how does this even come on my phone? It's just randomly coming on my phone, you know. And I don't know.
It's they know I'm making money on their app, and it's a free app, and so I should pay the $15 and see if that makes a difference.
I know. Yeah, Instagram is such a big sales tool for so many people.
Yeah, like again, it changed my life. So now that it's slow and Instagram's slow, it's a weird correlation where Instagram's whatever slow, and no one's getting the engagements they once were. So you're not being seen. Like, it doesn't add up for the followers I have, and it's kind of just it's like, what's next? It's kind of scary, but again, at the same time,
it's all evolving so quickly right now.
And it's got me on my toes. I started a TikTok. I've been posting my trinkets.
So now the Chinese government's on to you.
They're on, man, but they're only seeing marbles and pendants and
they got to see everything
cups.
else. They hacked your phone. If you had a time machine, what would you do with it? Would you go to the future? Would you go to the past? Would you go get last night's mega ball numbers and come back today?
Yeah, that's it'd be nice to have like endless resources where you didn't have to worry about anything. I'd make a lot of cool shit then with no worries and make the coolest shit ever. But I don't really want to change the past because that's who made me who I am.
No, you'd be you right now, but you could go back to dinosaur times and come back, say hi to Cheesy.
Oh,
you could bring Cheesy with you too. This is like a hypothetical time
hypothetically, I was into all that old mobster stuff. That'd have been cool to rock out during
with like Frank Sinatra and the Mob,
and during Prohibition and mob out.
Yeah, I'd be like, look what I got, guys! Look at this revolver I brought from the future.
Yeah, because essentially, it's a parody to the cannabis legalization of cannabis. It was, they outlawed booze, and that was all underground. That'd be a cool time. Music was cool.
It would be. Yeah. Everyone
dressed up real cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Cars were pretty cool looking.
Yeah. I like Scarface, man. Al Capone.
Yeah.
Like, smoke a cigar with him would be pretty cool.
So you got any big shows coming up or drops or anything, or what's on the horizon for Big Z?
I have nothing planned, which is like,
traveling's fucked right now anyways. Flights are, crazy prices.
I haven't went out to Las Vegas in years. I might go out to see how that goes and make face and see friends. And
it's merged with another show this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't went since like 2020.
Oh, wow.
I've kind of like, because I had all the shows lined up and everything, I was just overbooked. So, yeah, we'll figure it out as it goes. Until then, I'm just going to keep crushing out cool stuff. And
yeah, we're working on our piece today. I guess we can talk about it and it'll come out, but we're making like a giraffe kind of holding on for his dear life onto a rocket. I got the little rocket going, and I haven't made a large scale one yet. And I was always a fan of Matt's work where the giraffe is doing something, and you can bring a piece into like a cartoon sketch, so to speak. And I was like, well, this rocket could be used somehow, some way. We could ride him. And it's perfect. My buddy just told me that there was like a huge rocket launch yesterday, one of like these new big ones or actually they were planning on crashing it back in for like a test rocket or something. Joel was telling me this yesterday, but kind of fitting that and he's riding on it backwards. It's nosediving, right?
Yeah, he's hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, so
they're
maybe it's a metaphor for the
right. And I just all
state of the industry.
It all just comes together like that. It's just me and you hanging out, palling around like we do.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add into this pod? you want to talk some current events or some conspiracy theories or?
I'm a pretty like normal dude. I don't know about all that much.
Yeah.
I think conspiracies and stuff can go crazy. I don't know. I just blow glass and hang out and take care of my family and hang out with my dog.
A word from our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by Mood Mats. Man, what a great product they are. They're made from 100% recycled wetsuits. Mood Mats are essentially coasters for your rigs. They keep the mess levels down when you're dealing with sticky, shattery, wax, oils, and concentrates, all of the above. They do a ton of collabs with lots of artists, musicians, all sorts of interesting people. It's a great way to expand your brand. So if you are a small business or an artist interested in expanding your reach, hit them up at moodmats.com or on Instagram at moodmats. Here, pass them all. I can handle it. Ah! Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. Now back to the episode. Now we're going to do rapid fire questions. So, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Favorite movie?
I'd say The Goodfellas.
Excellent movie.
Yeah,
movie.
I watch it at least once a year.
Okay, favorite band?
I'm a fish head.
Fish head?
I've seen over 100 shows.
No shit.
I don't really listen to them live or in the shop so much. It's something I go and do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
It's fun.
What do you listen to in the shop when you're working?
A lot of beats. And stuff like that has like a pace.
Yeah.
And like it gets loud at my shop, so not necessarily, a lot of hip hop, so stuff like that.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? I'd probably say meat and potato guy.
Meat and potato? What cut are we talking here?
I like a New York strip. I've been eating a lot of buffalo though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's leaner.
Have you had Rocky Mountain oysters?
I haven't.
Oh, those are good. I hear. All right. Last question. Favorite thing to do besides blowing glass?
Walk my dog.
Walk your dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're due.
Favorite tool?
My Vertigo lathe.
Your Vertigo lathe. Shout out Vertigo.
Bam.
Hey, man. Well, that was a really good talk. We're going to, I think we got a lot out of this episode so far. We did a good timing. Yeah, man. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, brother.
We're going to go finish our piece now. Maybe we'll have a little follow-up after we're done or something. Or, we'll put some B-roll of the piece in. Thank you for coming through today. And I'm just getting used to this thing. You got any jokes you want to drop on the pod?
They made the round hay barrels illegal. The one you like driving on the interstate and you see the circle.
Oh,
pails?
why?
It's because the cows don't get a square meal.
That's pretty good. Wait, All right. Well, anyways, dude, thanks for coming in. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We'll see you next week on the Robertson Stash.
Cheers.
Cheers.